This is episode 53 of the Online Playmaker Sessions with stay-at-home mom and social media marketing maven, Sherri Brown.
Welcome to the Online Playmaker Sessions. This is the place for the latest what's working now strategies from the best online playmakers, the top marketers, the rising stars who are making it happen right now. Every week, you'll get real, actionable lessons that you can take and apply immediately in your business, delivered in short 20-minute sessions. Our focus is your results. Here's your host, entrepreneur, world-class trainer, and marketing strategist, Norbert Orlowitz.
Hello, online playmakers. If this is your first time tuning into the Playmaker Sessions, thank you for choosing us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you prefer video, our YouTube channel at onlineprofitplaybook.tv. As with all of our episodes, we have all the show notes, transcripts, and actionable tips over on the blog. Just head over to www.onlineprofitplaybook.com. You'll also be able to get access to my complimentary 5-video tutorial series on building the proper foundation for your online business, as well as several other free trainings, including my Instant Income Multiplier tutorial. And if you're ready to multiply your results fast, check out the premium membership of our Online Profit Playbook, where our guests open up their closely guarded playbooks and walk you step by step through the exact marketing funnels and sales process they use to build their audience, grow their influence, and make sales. Get the coveted Online Profit Playbook today. Just head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers. Sherri grew up in a small town in southwest Tennessee with one red light. After getting married in 2010, she was introduced to network marketing while at a baseball game, and having been in sales for years, she figured, how hard could it be? Sherri's first 4 years in network marketing were tough, with very little results. After her daughter was born, she decided she wanted to stay home and build her business online, and that's when she discovered attraction marketing. In less than a year of consistent action, Sherri went from being a social media spammer with no clue about blogging or marketing to now having written over 100 blog posts, recording videos, coaching, and launching her own training products. Sherri has now more than doubled the income she made working full-time at a bank, and she gets to do it from home with her little girl. This week's Online Playmaker, Sherri Brown. All right, welcome back, everybody. Episode 53 of the Online Playmaker Sessions. And today, I'm going to bring to you a special guest, and I'm really excited to hear from her today, Sherri Brown. Sherri, how you doing today?
I am doing awesome, and I'm super excited to be here, Norbert.
Fantastic. Well, it's my pleasure to have you here, and I'm really excited for you to share what's been working for you in your business and kind of your experience getting into online marketing as well, and what you've been helping other people to achieve as well. So let's start off first. You got to take us back to the beginnings a little bit for all the people that don't know who you are. Give us a little bit of the backstory. How did you get involved in online marketing, and sort of what was the start of it, and a little bit of backstory as well.
Okay, well, I've been in the industry for probably about 5.5 years, and I struggled for about the first 4. So I am your typical person. I went to college for 8 years. I have a master's in business. I am 4 classes away from a double master's in education. So it was never my thought to be an entrepreneur. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I was at a baseball game that my husband was playing at, and somebody there was who was with network marketing had some cute bags, and I had never really bought anything from a network marketing company, but I saw the kit, and I was like, oh gosh, I can do that. I've been in wireless sales, and so I thought that it was going to be easy. And I came into the industry and just struggled. I mean, I recruited people, I made some sales, but it was never anything to scream about. And it wasn't until July of 2015 when I called my sister up and I was just like pumped. And I was like, what do you think about all of my posts on Facebook? And she just laid it out. She said, Sherri, the only reason I haven't unfriended you is because you're my sister. She was like, you are a spammer. And so I was like, okay, if my own flesh and blood will not even like look at my posts and she's calling me a spammer, then obviously that's the reason I'm not making any money. And that was really my turning point. And that's when I really dove in to really start learning about marketing and how to attract people, because getting my master's in business, that did not prepare me for the world of online marketing. So that was kind of, how I got to where, kind of where I am now.
That's awesome. So before we get into what's working for you now, I really want to clarify what didn't work. So what kind of things were you doing and posting on social media before that made your sister want to unfriend you?
Well, just to be honest with you, network marketing companies, they don't teach you marketing. And I understand that if I were a network marketing company, I would want people blasting my name everywhere too. And it's great.
Right.
Because it doesn't do anything for you and it didn't do anything for me. I did exactly what I was taught. I mean, I was going out there and posting pictures and talking about, this is awesome, look at these results. I don't know why I thought it would work.
Well, but I mean, that is the problem. And I mean, we can laugh about it now because it's funny to us now, but it's a serious problem in this industry. And, this is something, I laugh because it's 2017 now. We've been doing this, with MLSP since 2008. We've been teaching people about attraction marketing and don't post about your company and all this kind of stuff. And it's awesome because like we just got back from the Eric Warre event at GoPro. And finally now, traditional network marketers, 2016, 2017, they launched a big social media course where they're finally teaching network marketers how to, promote on social media. So the industry is catching up very slowly, very slowly. But it is still a real problem because you're right. Most network marketing companies promote our products, talk about the products, talk about the results, post pictures of the products all over social media. And that is spamming. And that, even your own sister was offended by it, which is, just goes to show you exactly what doesn't work.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about the transition then. What was the transition? What was that turning point that you talked about, with your sister expressing her concerns about your social media posts? So what happened next? What was the transition here?
So it's kind of funny because they say when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And so it was right after that, I was scrolling on social media and I came across Ray Higdon. And I immediately just resonated with him. The fact that he was doing videos, like what he said made sense. I loved like how he talked. And so at that point, I just started consuming and listening. And I just, not only was I listening, but I was taking and turning that and putting it into action. And I started really thinking about, okay, putting up stuff of value. And it took me a couple of months to really understand the difference, because when I first started posting, it was like I would post products and then I would post business tips and so I was still kind of like learning and getting everything up. And he had mentioned on one of his podcasts, MLSP. And at this point, I didn't know anything about it, but I knew that he had built up enough rapport that if he recommended it, I was going to try it. And so I just jumped in and I started my trial. And the big aha moment for me was I was trying to be everywhere and do everything. So I was trying to learn Facebook, and then my niece was like, well, you need to get on Instagram. And so then I hop on Instagram and somebody says, well, you need to get on LinkedIn because that's where it's at. And so I like download a book and read a book on LinkedIn in a day and start getting on there, and I was all over the place. So the biggest aha moment for me was getting into MLSP, and the first thing they teach is stop trying to do everything and pick one thing. Pick one thing, focus on it, master it, and then build from there. And that was huge for me.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's a big challenge. Again, we see a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of the clients that you work with, a lot of the students you work with as well, you kind of see that problem a lot as well. So let's talk about that a little bit, because you work with a lot of clients. You're a coach with MLSP. You've been working with a lot of students over the last year. What are some of the big problems that you see that a lot of struggling marketers are facing, or the big mistakes that they're making?
Well, the number one biggest mistake is they're not branding themselves. They're going out there and they're just pushing the name of their company. And again, it's great for the company, but if I'm looking at my news feed and I've got 20 people posting the exact same picture with the exact same words, like, why would I buy from you? What makes you any different? That's the number one biggest mistake to me, is they don't know how to lead with value. They don't know anything about actual marketing. And then I think the second thing is really learning how to build relationships and prospect in a way that isn't just, hey, I don't know if you've seen my posts, but it's like they forget what it's like just to be normal and have a conversation. Aside from that, the third biggest mistake is trying to learn everything at once and try to be everywhere, and you're just one person. So those are the three biggest mistakes that I think that most marketers make.
Now, you work with a lot of clients, like we said, and a lot of new people getting started. So give us an example here. You've got a new person trying to get started in online marketing, trying to take their business online. What is sort of the getting started plan that you would give them, for their first 90 days? What kinds of activities? What would you guide them to as far as a marketing plan for their first, let's say, 30 to 90 days?
Well, the first step is number one, I want to know what their brand is. So before you go out there and you start posting or doing anything, you need to define how you want to show up in the marketplace. How do you want to be known? If somebody says your name, what do you want them to think of? The second thing is then, turning around and discovering who their target market is. Because for me, for years, I was going around thinking that, well, everybody's my target market. And they say the more you try to attract everybody, the more you attract nobody. So, then it's honing in on that target market. Next is picking one social media platform and really diving in and learning all you can about that platform. Getting a solid daily routine, understanding the importance of where your time needs to be spent each day. Because I see a lot of people who they will sit here and they'll consume tons of training, but then they're not taking the time to learn and actually implement it. So really getting that daily routine down to where they know, this is how much time you need to be spent on this, this, and this. And, picking one social media platform, being really consistent, learning it, and then slowly building from there. So the second step would be creating a branded website, a branded blog for them, and getting up their email list, their funnel. So really within the first 90 days, it's having that solid foundation you need, and then setting up those two other aspects of your business, which is your website and your email list.
So now you're talking about first 90 days, you're talking about like branding, target market, learning, one social media strategy, setting up their blog. When do I make money? Like, I want to make money this month.
Well, one big thing too that I talk about is obviously the expectations and understanding that marketing takes time. So during that time, I tell them, continue to prospect, continue to talk to people. And that's where your time needs to be. The most time needs to be spent daily is building your network, talking to people. So obviously, yes, that is a big part of where what they should be doing from day one is continuing to build those relationships and increase those skill sets as they're setting up their marketing. So I should have mentioned that.
No, that's good. And that's really important because, a lot of people, they get into this industry and they have these expectations and this anxiety that they need to make money right now. And then we start telling them all these marketing things and they see that you can get results quickly on with internet marketing, right? Which you can, it is possible. But I think that a lot of marketers don't understand that there is a setup process, that there is a learning curve, that you can't expect to just jump into online marketing and all of a sudden you're making tons of money. So I'm glad that you kind of isolated that. You've got these activities that are going to be setting up your marketing for the long term, but then there's other activities that you can be doing right now, which is, having the conversations, doing the networking, doing the active prospecting. Now, we've talked a little bit in other podcast episodes. I had Aaron Birch on here talking about, really focusing on prospecting and having conversations. I think a lot of network marketers still really struggle with that on social media. Can you give us some tips on how to make it effective, how to make it work?
Yes, and this is, I actually talk about this in the video that's pinned to the top of my fan page over at Sherri Brown Coaching. And a lot of people have a hard time with that initial message. Like, how do I reach out to somebody that, like, I don't know, without being weird? Like, it's just weird.
Right.
So I went through Jessica Higdon's course, one of Jessica Higdon's courses, and it's the 4-step messaging method when reaching out to people you don't know. Number 1, mention their name. Because when it comes, if I get a message and somebody's like, hey girl, or hey there, personalize it. People love to hear their own name. And so just mention their name. It takes you 2 seconds and spell it right. The second part is to tell them where you found them. So if I'm over here and I'm on Eric Worre's page, I might say, hey, Norbert, just wanted to hop on, send you a quick message. I noticed that you had commented over on Eric Worre's page, and I completely agree with what you said. So that's the second step. The third is to actually take 30 seconds and go to somebody's profile and find something you like about them. Find some common ground and give them a compliment. Number 4 is to end it with a question. And so if I see that, somebody's in Tennessee, I might say, well, hey, I noticed you're from Tennessee. Have you always lived there? So the first message is just to make a friend. It's not to pitch. It's just to start the conversation and get it going. And that's where I find a lot of people struggle, is just they don't even know what to say when initially reaching out. So it's a very non-pitchy, very natural way to reach out, where somebody's not going to be like, dude, she's weird,
All right, perfect. Good tips. Really good tips. It's some basic stuff there, but I think a lot of marketers still don't know those basics. And we did interview Jessica on a previous episode. So if you're curious about that, just go do a search for Jessica Higdon. You'll find that episode. She gives some great tips on that as well. Okay, Sherri, I'm interested to know what's working for you right now with your marketing. If you could give us sort of a big picture as to, what you're doing right now that's working to help you grow your audience, generate leads, and make sales. And obviously in the premium session, you're going to open up your computer and kind of walk us through the process. But if you could just give us a quick kind of description of what's working for Sherri right now.
Okay, so I am very big on a fan page. There are a lot of people out there who will probably disagree with me, but what it comes down to, you have to think long term. So you need to be building and growing your audience on a fan page. First and foremost, understand if you're trying to do it from your profile, Mark Zuckerberg isn't too happy about that, So think long term. And so what I do is I'm really present on Facebook. I post daily. I have a specific marketing schedule. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm putting out a new blog post. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I'm going live on my fan page. I'm boosting those posts. So I do use Facebook ads because, let's face it, it's kind of pay to play on Facebook. And so I do use some different Facebook hacks to grow that reach organically. But but I'm very consistent. I'm posting 3 to 5 times a day. I'm putting offers in front of people at least once a day, a minimum 3 times a week. I'm putting offers in front of people. I am asking questions. So I'm really, as far as my marketing strategy, I'm just really, really consistent on Facebook. And I engage with my audience. So if somebody hops on and they comment, I'm commenting back, I'm engaging. And that's something a lot of people miss, is they're just like, whoa, I got a comment, but they don't, take it to that next level. So that's really kind of the marketing strategy I'm doing. And I'm just very freaking consistent.
Well, you're studying Ray Higdon, so I guess some of that consistency wore off on you too, hey?
Yes.
He is Mr. Consistency. Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
So okay, that was awesome. And for you guys, if you missed it, I would highly recommend that you rewind and listen again to what Sherri just laid out for you guys, because she essentially laid out her marketing plan. And if you actually just rewind and listen to it a couple of times and take notes and just write down exactly what she said, because she basically gave you all the most important elements. She's talking about doing Facebook Lives, blog posts, again, on a regular, consistent basis, talking about engaging with your audience through comments. She's talking about using Facebook ad platform, boosting those posts to expand her reach. And she's making at least 3 offers a week. Again, another place where a lot of people miss it. So you really covered everything there in that description. So I really recommend you guys rewind that and take notes there. Now, let me ask you here, Sherri, because you're a mom, you work from home, you have a toddler, right? So
Yeah.
What you just explained there sounds like a lot of work and a lot of time invested. Can you give us an idea, first of all, how much time do you actually spend in your business? Because you also have coaching clients. I mean, you got a lot going on. How much time do you spend in your business on your marketing? And how do you manage it all?
Okay. So before, when I was trying to do everything, it got to a point to where I was spending a lot of time in my business. And when I say a lot of time, probably 6-7 hours a day. And it got to a place to where I was like, well, I'm an entrepreneur, but the big perk of an entrepreneur is having time freedom. So being a stay-at-home mom, I want to be able to spend time with my daughter. And it was like, although I was here, I wasn't really here. And so then I set out to find out, okay, how do I work smarter and not harder? And that's when I really started diving into outsourcing. So now, aside from my private coaching clients, which I work maybe 3 hours a week on private coaching clients, I'm now to a point to where I can spend, maybe 2-3 hours a day. And everything else, I have a team that does it for me. So I actually... I'm about to bring on my 4th assistant, and combined, they will be working a combined total hours of about 60 to 65 hours a week on my business to allow me the freedom to do what I need to do, like my income producing activities.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's a huge transition for us independent entrepreneurs to make. And I know a lot of people, we hear about outsourcing, but there's a lot of hesitancy, obviously, a lot of fear about doing it. There's money that we've got to invest and spend. When are we ready to outsource?
I think it comes down to, there's several kind of questions, and I've done a video on this to kind of decide, for people to decide, how do you know when you're ready? Number one being, do you wish that there were more hours in a day to get things done?
It's everybody. Yeah.
Feel like that you are, doing everything, but at the end of the day, you just never have enough time. Like, you're not getting what you need done. For most people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they may only have 1 or 2 hours a day to spend on their business. And let's face it, in order for your business to grow, the only way is for more time to be spent on your business, but it doesn't mean that has to be you. And I think the fear of outsourcing, because people think, oh my gosh, I can't afford that. But wow, you can outsource, and I'll just kind of give you an estimate, Norbert. with 4 people working on my business 60 to 65 hours a week, it costs me less than $1,300 a month. So it's a lot more affordable than people think. But they just don't know where to go in order to find. They just don't know where to start. So it's a lot cheaper than people think.
Now you were telling me that you started with one virtual assistant several months back, almost a year ago now.
I hired my first assistant back in February, and I've slowly just kind of increased the hours and the tasks as time went on. And now I went from first hiring and only having somebody help me 5 hours a week to now 4 people that's going to be working for me like 60 hours a week.
So I think that's really the big important tip there, is to scale it slowly. Just start outsourcing a few tasks. Now, give us a few tips, because we're going to get these questions, so you might as well answer them. Where did you go to outsource your first employees and your first contractors? And are you using that for all 4 right now? So where did you go? What resource did you use?
Okay, so my first VA, he was hired from Upwork.com. And what I love about Upwork is everything is kind of taken care of for you in regards to I have it linked to my PayPal. So each Monday, Upwork just sends me an invoice and they tell me how many hours he's worked and this is what they're taking out. I love the fact that it's pretty easy to get started. I don't have to worry about, finding a way to pay them and all this stuff. So I liked Upwork. The 2 most recent assistants that I hired are from onlinejobs.ph. Now here's Online Jobs. It is a strictly Filipino-based job board. So you hire assistants, they're strictly from the Philippines. My first VA, again, is from the Philippines. I love the Philippines.
Yep.
They are, most of them speak great English. I think they're very respectful. They're hardworking. And their cost of living is so much lower than it is here in the United States. You can literally hire assistants for anywhere between $3 to $5 an hour. And it's been a great experience for me. My 4th assistant that I'm actually going to be bringing on is my own sister. So she is the only one from the United States, but I'm going to have her just doing one specific thing each week just because she knows me and, just to kind of help her out. But yeah.
This is the same sister you were spamming before, right?
Yes.
So she's forgiven you, and she's now going to work for you. So that's good. I'm glad that relationship worked out.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. All right, this has been really good and really enlightening. Lots of great tips here. I hope if you're listening, you're watching this, that you're taking a lot of notes. Sherri laid out for you, her marketing plan right now using social media. She's laid out some very specific tips and resources for outsourcing. And again, I highly recommend as well, if you're thinking about outsourcing, then it's time to start. And both resources I use as well, Upwork and onlinejobs.ph. I use both as well. And again, start small. Just start outsourcing a few simple tasks. And start small, and then you'll be able to grow and grow and grow and scale. And a year from now, you might be at a position where you've got 2 or 3 different people helping you out in your business. And it's amazing how much you can grow your business when you don't have to deal with all the tedious little things every single day. So good stuff. All right, Sherri, we got to wrap this up. It's already been like 25 minutes here. So let's wrap this up. Time's flying. Let's tie a nice little bow on this. Give us 3 tips for all the people listening right now. Everybody listening wants to take their business to the next level. So in the next 90 days, if I'm going to create a breakthrough in my business in the next 90 days, give me 3 tips to be able to accomplish that. What are 3 things that I've got to keep in mind or focus on?
Number 1, I think first and foremost, number one, you have to change your mindset, and you have to have that shift of not pitching or selling, but serving. Because if you can focus on how you can help somebody else, that was the mindset shift that literally took me from broke to actually making money. The second tip is fail forward and fail as often as you can. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I've learned from mistakes. So fail as often as you can. Talk to as many people as you can. Don't worry about the ones who, aren't responding. Focus on the ones who you can help. Focus on the ones who want your help. Another tip, start doing Facebook Lives. Another thing that drastically changed my business. One, Facebook has said specifically that that's their focus, and they are putting that into the newsfeed. Another reason, it's a lot easier to build rapport with a large amount of people at once by doing Facebook Lives. Even if it's not Facebook Lives video, do a pre-recorded video, get your face out there where people can get a sense of who you are and your personality, because it really is a way to warm up complete strangers super quick. I think I just gave you more than 3 tips. Be consistent. I've got so many tips.
Be consistent. So mindset, Facebook Live, and consistency. I mean, those are 3 really killer tips. And with the consistency, it's again, like we always say, like focus on less, on one marketing strategy, focus on one social media platform. Like you said right at the beginning, don't try to be everywhere at once. Focus on less, but be more consistent, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Sherri, this has been really, really great, extremely valuable, and I know that everybody listening is going to get a lot out of this. I want to thank you for being here, for giving of your time, and I know you got a busy day, and I know that you got a child at home, you're a stay-at-home mom, you got lots going on, so I really appreciate you giving your time here. And I'm also excited for the premium session for our members to be able to see exactly what you're doing in your business to grow your business, because it's not really complicated. It's just about doing the work and being consistent with it. So first of all, I want to congratulate you on your success, and I really look forward to see what you're going to be accomplishing over the next year. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Robert. It's been my pleasure.
Awesome. All right, everybody. I know you enjoyed this episode, so please take action on what you've learned. Take the notes and the tips that you've gotten from this episode and take action. Apply them into your business and start creating those results. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week on another edition of the Online Playmaker Sessions. Everybody, take care. I hope you enjoyed this week's Playmaker session. If you love the session, subscribe now to our YouTube channel so you never miss our weekly episodes. Be sure to also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just type in Online Playmakers in the search bar and click subscribe, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. All of the episodes, show notes, transcripts, resources, and bonuses are available on the blog over at onlineprofitplaybook.com, along with several bonus free tutorials I've created for you as well. Your fast track to results is to follow the Playmakers. You can download their closely guarded playbooks and follow them step by step to grow your influence, build your audience, and create results in your business right now. Head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers to get full access today. Thank you again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week as we bring you another power-packed session with the top Playmakers online. This is Norbert Orlowitz, signing off.